Jackson too?
We
I know
do.
you do. I know you both do,
Yeah.
for sure. And that's evident. All the community events you participate in, see you guys everywhere.
Likewise.
So-
Likewise, gentlemen.
So your staff is growing, and we haven't officially got to meet JessAnne yet on the show, so we're happy to have her today. Talk a little bit about JessAnne.
we got JessAnne out of retirement about a year ago.
Oh, yeah?
She'll be there. You'll be there a year in January.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
JessAnne agreed to come on. We really did a great job searching out and finding some great administrative staff and support staff. And JessAnne has been, sort of tip of the spear, greeting clients and welcoming clients into our family, and she's just been a ray of sunshine in the office.
The firm is a big part of Jackson Commercial Contractors Association. I noticed you were talking to the sheriff about them coming to your JCCA meeting tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're excited. Angela Machnik, my wife, helps out with the JCCA. She's the executive director, and with everything that's going on and the millage proposal on the ballot, we thought it would be prudent to have the sheriff come in and talk about the project, because it's sure to involve a lot of local contractors, and that's really what the JCCA is all about. So getting work and keeping it local.
Yeah, definitely. Now, JessAnne, you get to meet a lot of clients, a lot of business people. What's been the most exciting part about working at Willis and Machnik so far?
I think for me, I have always loved working with people and just being able to have those interactions and creating that kind of sense of, we're here for you. And it's so hard not to feed off of Dan's energy. I think he's fantastic. And I think the environment that they create at Willis and Machnik is so special, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, you guys care about the clients and businesses you guys work with.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's interesting because you see, we hired JessAnne around the same time we hired Katie Sellers. Hopefully we'll be able to convince her to come on the show at some point. JessAnne jumped right at the chance, but the personalities in the office have really aligned well. JessAnne has a very similar personality to me, and Katie has a similar personality, I would say, to Mike.
Very much, yes.
You guys are used to seeing us, but we wanted you and your viewers to meet other folks that help with their relationship.
Yeah, the behind the scenes. That's who you talk to. You talk to JessAnne quite a bit when you have to either make payments or you have a question, that's for sure. Now, I have a question. As we head into quarter 4, budgeting. Should we be thinking about budgeting for next year, or should we still be trying to tighten down the end of this year, Dan?
So what a year it's been, right?
What a year it is.
Hey, I don't want credit when they go up. I don't want blame when they go down.
Right.
So a lot of what we're talking to our clients through right now is that they haven't taken the required distributions yet for 22. We've put that on delay because the markets have been so squirrely.
Right.
So now it's a question of, okay, how do we get that done before year end? And let's start cash management planning for next year. Without question, we've been talking to our clients here in the last quarter so far about, okay, this is what we think your investment account need is going to be next year. How do we get prepared to take distribution and withdrawal strategy appropriately?
So you say JessAnne came out of retirement. So tell us a little bit about life outside Willis and Machnik.
Yeah, so I had our second child at the end of last July, and decided it was time for me to step away from the craziness that I was kind of in before, just very go all the time. And so I stayed home with both of my kids for a while. And then Dan reached out, and I know the firm, I know the people that are involved in the firm, and I thought, if I'm going to be somewhere, this is the right place for me.
That's awesome, and it certainly worked out. What have you learned about budgeting under Dan so far?
I cannot tell you the number of things that I have learned in the last 10 months. It's an onslaught of information. It's a lot to work through and to navigate, and I think that our financial advisors do a great job of helping people understand what works for them and how to prepare for the future.
Yeah, because we're not experts, may read an article or two, but we're not doing the research and the due diligence that you and Mikey are doing.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you get a lot of those calls, or someone's got a someone read an article, they see a little thing, they ask you about it.
Yeah, and it's great that we're the first phone call
Yeah.
because there's so much proliferation of information out there. Just this morning, Mike and I were talking about how Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, was on a little bit of blurb about how if the economy dips into recession next year, it could potentially lead to additional market downturn. And the very next headline was Jamie Dimon says markets are going to go
Of
down
course.
20%.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's responsibility, but it's also how we're absorbing, what the messaging that's being presented to us. We ask the clients all the time, there's a reason we put our cell phone numbers on our business cards. It's like, look, if you come across something you're not sure, make us your first call. If we don't know the answer, we'll sure as heck find it for you.
Yeah, I
Reassuring.
noticed that too. The headlines were JP Morgan CEO predicts recession in the next 6 months. That's not what he said at all.
It is not what he
Yeah.
said at all. He said,
Some-
well, I don't really know, but there's a possibility. And then, the headlines go.
Yeah,
So
of course.
that's why they always say sell the headlines.
No, a lot of people get their information
Just
just as
from the
headlines,
headlines.
or on Facebook, which is twice
Yeah.
as bad.
Yeah, those headlines are a lot of times not real.
Personalities, really, when you're working with a financial advisor, you mentioned the personalities in the audience, in the office, how they work with one another. But really, as a client, it's if someone makes their decisions, and really based on the person and personality of the people they're working with.
Without question. I think we do business with people that we're naturally drawn to and that we get along with. It's great because now we're so organized, from the client, really from the client onboarding process, thanks in large part to JessAnne and Katie. But it's funny because I'm gifted in some areas and truly not in others. And a client leaves our office, I may say to Mike, what was that person's name? And JessAnne will immediately remember. So it's just, you're blessed with having the best people around.
I
you.
overheard you say that when I left your office once.
guy's
You're my
name?
golf league partner. How do you not know my name?
Oh, good, it's not just me.
It's not, I think it gets worse as we get
A
older.
misconception to see a financial advisor, a wealth management expert, I need to have some wealth or a bunch of money right now. That is not true.
That is not true. I think oftentimes we'll meet initially with a retirement plan participant who's just getting started, and the best thing that they can do as a family is begin a financial plan, and that's something that we offer all across the board. And we're very direct and intentional with our communications, even with those clients, to suggest that, hey, come into the office and let's get started on a plan.
Cool.
Great to have you guys here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
From Willis and Machnik Financial Services, Dan Machnik and JessAnne Samons. More of the morning show after this.